Like most people, I wasn't a big fan of cleanup operations. I figured it was something I'd get to later, or something somebody else would end up doing if I just steered clear of it long enough. I didn't understand that good housekeeping is an important part of every job. I thought it was kind of beside the point. I mean, the real job was to build a building. Housekeeping seemed like a waste of time. The truth is this: when you're on the job, you're also on a team. To show you what I mean, let's look at 5 areas where housekeeping can really make a difference. Materials must be stored properly, covered and secured. Containers need labels so you know what's in them and what hazard they may cause. Keep them out of the way from any vehicle traffic or major walkways, especially exits. Blocking roadways and walkways, at the head of a stairway or at the foot. Blocking entrances and exits, covering up vents or warning signs. Whenever you store materials, make sure it's neatly stacked, stable, and doesn't block any pathways. If you can't distinguish an aisle, then you got bad housekeeping. Have oil or grease on the floor? It's a potential slip. Metal scraps dumped on the floor? A potential trip. Well, what about an extension cord looped right across the middle of the workspace, or a piece of plastic left on the floor? You need to have a place for everything. For example, stack used form lumber so it's out of the way rather than just stripping it off and letting it fall. Welding rods and oxyacetylene hoses should be up off the floor, coiled and stored properly. Electrical lines, conduit, and hoses should be kept clear of traffic. Hoses and nozzles for air compressors should be coiled and hung near the compressor. Take much effort to pull nails from form and scrap lumber and stack the wood out of harm's way. Make sure there's adequate protection from things like sharp edges of scrap metal and protruding ends of reinforcing steel. And always wear your personal protective equipment. Let's say you need to put out a fire. There should be fire extinguishers at strategic points all over the site. They should be rated for the type of fire that could occur in that area. There should be a clear path to emergency equipment. Extinguishers, respirators where toxic fumes might be a problem, first aid kits, even telephones. The area should be free of debris and easily visible. Place for everything, and everything should be in its place. Flammables and other hazardous materials should be properly stored and labeled. Scrap, debris, tools, and materials should not be allowed to accumulate. Know emergency procedures and where to find emergency equipment fast. Good housekeeping is a part of everybody's job. It's not up to someone else, and it's not for later.
Powered equipment and machinery make our jobs easier and help us to be more productive. The machines that we use can run on a number of different forms of energy. While this energy helps us to do things we could never do by ourselves, because of its great power, it can also be dangerous, and we need to be careful when we work around it. For example, energy-related injuries often occur when one person is working on equipment and someone else inadvertently turns on the power, putting the equipment back into operation. To help guard against these situations, OSHA has enacted lockout-tagout regulations. These regulations apply to most industrial and commercial situations and protect people who are working on setup, repair, or maintenance of equipment from the energy that is used to run these machines. OSHA estimates that these laws save over 100 lives and prevent over 60,000 injuries each year. The concept of lockout-tagout is fairly simple. The object is to disable the machine that's being serviced by isolating it from its energy source, its source of power. To do this, locks, tags, and other mechanisms are placed on energy isolation devices, such as switch boxes and valves. Lockout-tagout basically involves using your common sense. The lockout step shuts off or isolates a machine's source of energy. Tagging the machine tells other people the type of work that is being performed on the machine. Situations where lockout-tagout procedures should be used occur more often than we realize.
ESD is coming. Are you prepared?